I want to start this video confessing what some would call a sin. I never played the original Oblivion. I was still shitting diapers and grubbing on that prison slop looking baby food when it originally dropped. However, growing up I poured hundreds of hours into Skyrim on my Xbox 360, always creating new characters, avoiding the story like League players in a shower, and breaking the game with that wondrous Bethesda jank.
How are you?
Been better. How about you?
Not bad.
Good to hear. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
For the longest time, I claimed Skyrim to be my favorite game of all time, and had constantly seen growing up how Oblivion was the better game and that Skyrim ruined a lot of things that made that game amazing. But I stayed away from it like it had an STD. It always just seemed too old and out of date, and I just assumed it could never match the freedom to fuck around and find out like Skyrim could. I want to avoid making this a Skyrim comparison video, but I can't exactly use Fallout or Starfield for examples, because, you know, there's no nuclear magic or space dragons. Jumping in, I knew that I could count on at least one thing being a guaranteed banger: the character creator. There are hundreds of thousands of abominations out there, hideous figures that not even their mothers could love. Creatures so vile that no words could describe just how horribly silly these monstrosities look. And let me tell you, that shit still slaps. What a fucking abomination. Look at that fucking chin, dude. Holy shit. Oh, this character customator's awesome. Let's give him some big old fucking smackers. Holy shit. Oh, that's fucking cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah. I definitely think it lived up to the hype of the original, and I was able to birth my own demons straight from Bikini Bottom's upside down. However, I decided to make a different character and went for a more classic Chad look. A real handsome fella, if you will. After getting my shit absolutely pushed in by the weakest enemies throughout the tutorial, my ego irreparably damaged, I was finally able to select my star sign and class, and was honestly pretty blown away. The amount of depth in just the character creation alone was far more than most RPGs offer nowadays. The amount of major and minor skills that could be used to flesh out your character and build in any way you want felt like a breath of fresh air. It felt like there was more than enough variety and depth to truly make exactly what you wanted, and that just feels so rare nowadays. It was kind of shocking that an almost 20-year-old game can get stuff so much better than most of the AAA slop nowadays. And don't even get me started on that quadruple A flaming dog shit. Even compared to Skyrim, I was immediately noticing the amount of freedom that was cut out to make it more accessible for a wider audience. Then came that amazing moment in every Bethesda game: the emergence. First thing, this remake is gorgeous. I think they fucking killed it on the aesthetic of the game. Now, keep in mind, I never played the original, just my opinion. I feel like they kept it true to its roots, and yet still brought it into a modern era incredibly well. The lighting is gorgeous and sets a beautiful atmosphere, and the characters have incredible fidelity. The Khajiit's fur looks absolutely insane, and yet it all feels like it still remains in the same line and vein of the original art direction of the game. Aside from some of the animations looking incredibly goofy, I feel like they did a really solid job visually with this game. It's hilarious to go back and watch old videos from when they revealed this game and how people were saying the game looked lifelike and then the graphics weren't going to be able to get much better. I wonder how they would react if you showed them this remaster back then. It would be like teaching a monkey to make fire. She would have blown their minds. After some time, I made it to my first Oblivion gate, and almost starting to feel nostalgic, despite never playing the original. I think it was just for the older style of dungeons and the rather basic combat. I was pretty blown away by this whole part, to be honest. I've played tons of old games, but none of them felt quite as unique in terms of the dungeon design, especially compared to the Oblivion gate. They all just were pretty restricted in hardware capabilities as well as software capabilities, so a lot of the times they end up falling into the exact same vein, and I think that's why they all feel a lot similar and what made this feel like it stands out. Something about it felt so cool and special, not to mention casually strolling into hell, I think, murdering so many demons, closing the gate, and just acting like it's no big deal. It's just so freaking silly to me. I love it. Big fan. The whole quest to retake Kvatch, please don't murder me for that, was interesting too, because it felt optional, but not like side content, more just like another step in the journey, a means to achieve the final goal, and that's exactly what I think RPGs should be about. Whether it's main or side content, it shouldn't matter. It should feel equally as impactful to the world and to your character, and again, truly shows how ahead this game was at the time. Now, the first time I truly felt the age of this game wasn't from clunkiness or even jank or anything like that. It came from a system that just had not quite evolved into what it is today. It feels very easy to forget that this game came out when it did at first, so I was frustrated a little. But then I found it kind of fascinating. It feels like I was able to see an old step of evolution into something I take for granted in most games nowadays. Anyways, here's my little rant on fast travel because I have fuck all to do with my time. What the fuck? Wait. What is the point? Why is it just... They tell you about a place and then just... Oh, you want to go there? You can go there. What? Why? I don't understand. Why is it that simple? Like, don't get me wrong, I love fast traveling games, and I don't understand when people say, oh, fast travel's not immersive, and oh, there shouldn't be fast travel in this game, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Whatever, like, I don't really get that. Like, A, if you don't like it, don't use it. It doesn't matter. And B, like, most people don't have the time to spend walking back and forth and back, especially with games with horrendous quest design, like the first Kingdom Come Deliverance. Love that game, but the quest design is terrible. It is just nothing but fetch quests back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And at least that game has fast travel, pretty much. I can't imagine how horrendous it would be without fast travel. That would suck. I would actually go insane. But this is just like why? Like, there's just no point to exploring at all, because you can just fast travel literally everywhere you need to be, so, like, you don't even have to, like, get there first, and, like, at least are, like, forced to explore the way, at least partially. I just, like, what? Like, they're two totally, like, different sides of a coin. The next and final place I went to was the... This shit was gas. This is when the combat and character progression really clicked for me. I think being able to cast spells with a separate button and not having it take up a hand, like in Skyrim, is so awesome and really helps flesh out the combat, the build variety, and just makes it flow so much better. Now I was really starting to understand it and looking into how I wanted to carefully build my character, level certain skills, and gather select equipment and spells. Basically, despite the age, I feel as though the combat, at least in the remaster, feels maybe the best out of any Bethesda game. The difficulty scaling was created by a lobotomite, though. I don't understand why the middle difficulty is so easy. It's like you're fighting against brainless babies, and then the next difficulty is like 10 times everything. Terrible balancing, but it's just another minor nitpick. Overall, I'm glad my first experience is the remaster. I think they did a fantastic job modernizing most areas of the game. Again, I didn't play the original, but from what I've seen, it seems like it's still being extremely faithful to the beloved original, and it's really crazy to see what most RPGs are based off of and seeing how they built upon the roots that Oblivion set, and also seeing how in some areas a game from almost 20 years ago does things so much better than a lot of modern games. that's about it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. I've got Peak Cinema coming soon, and you do not want to miss those. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Peace! Yeah!